Now we're going to make peach scones. This coffee shop favorite can be made easily in your bakery case using our Dawn Exceptional Premium Flavor Biscuit and Scone Mix. One of the things that makes scones and biscuits so unapproachable is how difficult they can be with luxury ingredients and time and temperature and all sorts of issues. With our Dawn mix, it's 2 ingredients, water and mix. That's it. If you'd like to add inclusions, you're welcome to it. Here I'll be adding peaches. The IQF fruit, or individually quick frozen, rough chopped peaches, go in at the last 30 seconds of mixing at speed 1 until just come back. We're going to put some flour on our work surface. This is called dusting flour, most of you know that. Now, there's a lot of talk about dusting flour. I think you always use the highest gluten dusting flour you can. In this case, it's bread flour. Would I use bread flour to make scones? No, but I use it on my dusting flour because the higher protein the flour, the less it absorbs into your product, so it actually means the less it's going to change your recipe. So it absorbs less than the other one. So if you put a cake flour or an AP flour on the bench, it's going to absorb into your product at a higher rate than my nicer high gluten flours are. So you see I'm dusting it again. This is my 2-pound, 3-ounce stuff. Normally I would scale this out when I'm making larger batches. I'm gonna pat it into a circle, about an 8-inch circle, because that classic scone shape is that triangle shape, okay? Once it's patted down, I'm going to use a little egg wash. So in this case, it's just eggs and a little bit of water. We're going to egg wash it before we cut it because we don't want the egg wash to drip down the sides of the scone. Any egg wash that drips down the sides of a product that needs to rise, that's been slightly laminated like this has, whether it's a croissant or a scone or a biscuit, will seal the edges and make it rise not correctly. Now I'm putting sanding sugar on the top, and I want to really put a lot of sanding sugar on. Heavily sanding sugar it because that will give us a really nice sugar crust. Now I'm going to cut these with a good chef knife into 8 even pieces. So notice how I use a knife that's longer than the dough, and I bring it in one shot straight across. Do not saw back and forth or your dough will stick to your knife. All right. 8 scones fit perfectly on a half sheet tray. I baked scones. I baked them at 365 degrees until they were nice and golden brown. You see this beautiful puff in the middle? This is what I'm talking about with that Dawn mix, how it just turns out nice every time. And you can see my pretty sugar crust from the egg wash and sanding sugar I showed you earlier. Now, these are all the way cool. To finish them off, I'm going to drizzle them with my Dawn Exceptional Medium Thick Set Donut Glaze. You might ask why I use a glaze rather than a flat icing, and that's because you don't want a real thick drizzle on a scone. This is enough. So we're going to just drizzle it with my donut glaze, let it set up completely, and then they are ready for our bakery case. These are perfect with a cup of coffee or hot tea for breakfast.